Hi everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Day's Podcast along with a new video. I want to thank you guys so much for liking, subscribing, viewing, watching, and listening. I truly appreciate it, and I would like to continue making sure that we have free content along with exclusives on Patreon and Spotify. So be sure to check them out. Today we are going to talk about Ciara's self-titled album, Ciara. So let's get into it. So Ciara is the 5th studio album by Ciara, which was released on July 9th, 2013. This album is the artist's first release under Epic Records since publicly asking the now defunct Jive Records to release her from her contractual obligations. The singer cited a lack of label support and financial funding for her previous albums. Now, if you've looked at my previous videos and episodes, I've talked about this. I've talked about that, the fact that there are more people that are becoming independent and wanting to be independent or having distribution deals with labels rather, only because, you know, there don't always be support for certain artists, and it shows, it do. And it's unfortunate because everybody deserves to be able to get a number one at some point or a number one album, and you know, I think we all can be great, you know, but you know, it don't always be like that when it comes to the industry. I mean, everybody they try, you know. Fantasy Ride 2009 and Basic Instinct 2010 were the previous albums. On this 5th studio album, Ciara is reunited with her long-term mentor and friend, L.A. Reid, chairman of Epic Records. Reid is credited with discovering Ciara in 2003, along with signing her to his LaFace Records label and executive producing her debut studio album, Goodies. On Ciara, the singer is reunited with music producers Rodney Jerkins and Jasper Cameron, who have respectively worked on previous Ciara singles and albums. The duo were joined by the Underdog Sounds, Demal Olaji, I don't know how to say their name, Josh Abraham, and Mike Will Made It, amongst others. Writing contributions come from the likes of singer-songwriters Winter Gordon, Levi Frank or Livy Frank, and Ali Timposey, along with a number of contributions from Ciara herself. Rapper Future and Nicki Minaj respectively have guest vocals on the album, while Ciara herself is listed as a featured artist on the song Super Turns Up, a record where she raps and takes credit for co-producing the song. So yeah, this album was recorded and was worked on from 2011 till 2013, and she mostly worked on it in, you know, Los Angeles as opposed to Atlanta and Miami, and you know, it was just her wanting to let people know, like, I've been around for about 10 years or so, like, I'm here, like, you know, y'all know me, and rightfully so. And so it says, promoting the release of this album, all 3 singles, including Sweat featuring 2 Chainz, Sorry, and Got Me Good, were released when the album was titled One Woman Army. None of the songs impacted on the US Billboard Hot 100 and were subsequently swept aside in favor of a new single titled Body Party, which reached at number 22 on the US Billboard Hot 100 and number 1 on the US Billboard Hot R&B Hip Hop Songs chart. I'm Out featuring Nicki Minaj was released as the album's 2nd single in June 2013. Overdose was released as the album's 3rd single. It was serviced to American Urban and Rhythmic Radio in September and October 2013 respectively. Upon its release, Ciara was met with a warm reception from music critics who complimented the album as one of the strongest in her discography. The album debuted at number 2 on the US Billboard 200 chart with first week sales of 59,000 copies, becoming her 4th top 3 album on the chart. As of April 2015, the album has sold 208,000 copies in the US. So, within 5 albums, she has 3 that are in the top 3. That's pretty good. And in 10 years, so it's, well, more than 10, now, but it's just, it's rewarding for her, and I think that she's tried to overcome a lot in this time. But yeah, like, just from previous sales of albums and promotion and collaborating with different people, she wanted to have a different concept with a different label and wanted to let people know, like, I'm still wanting to give people the best of me, and she did promote the album, along with going on Jimmy Kimmel Live, The Wendy Williams Show, 106 in Park, and the singles, they didn't do too bad, but they just weren't received as much as they possibly could have. I will say this, 2013 was a big year. There was a lot of people coming out, emerging, returning, if you will, too. So, but it got a 72, which is not too bad based on 15 reviews. But it wasn't a bad album. It was solid. It was a good album. Be sure to stream and buy it, if anything. But yeah, let's see. Upon its release in the United States, the album was predicted to sell between 55 to 65,000 copies in its opening week, almost double the 37,000 copies of her previous album, Basic Instinct 2010 did. Ciara debuted at number 2 on the US Billboard 200 charting, selling 59,000 copies in its first week. The album became Ciara's 4th album to chart within the top 3 of the Billboard chart. The album also debuted at number 2 on the US top R&B hip hop albums, becoming her second album to peak at that becoming her second album to peak at that position. Ciara also charted at number 1 on the US top R&B albums chart, becoming her first album to debut at number 1 on the chart. So, top R&B albums chart, she hasn't been able to go number 1 on that until this. So this is a good thing. And I've said this before. There be certain charts that people will go number 1 on, and it don't always be like, the Billboard 200. It'd be other charts, and it'd be like, oh, wait a minute. That just made them have a broader audience here, So it don't always be a bad thing. Yes. Where was I? As of April 2015, the album has sold 208,000 copies in the US. In other territories, the album debuted at number 42 on the UK albums chart. It fared better on the UK R&B albums chart, where it opened at number 4. In the Netherlands, the album opened at number 77, becoming her first to chart since 2004's debut set Goodies. Really? See? Since 2004's debut set Goodies, which peaked at number 79. So this charted higher than what Goodies did out there. While in Switzerland, the album debuted at number 63. Ciara's second lowest charting album in the country, charting 20 positions higher than her lowest charting album, Basic Instinct, did. The album debuted at number 35 in Australia, becoming Ciara's first album to chart in the region since 2009, as well as becoming Ciara's highest peaking album on the chart. So certain regions were receiving the album more than they were receiving other albums at the time, and it was making a sense of saying, like, she's doing music, so, like, yeah. So let's look at the track list. So track 1 is I'm Out featuring Nicki Minaj. Track 2 is Sophomore. Track 3 is Body Party. Track 4 is Keep On Looking. Track 5, Read My Lips. Track 6, Where You Go featuring Future. Track 7, Super Turned Up. Track 8, DUI. Track 9, Living It Up, featuring Nicki Minaj. Track 10, Overdose. Track 11, Backseat Love, which was a bonus track on iTunes. And then there was a CD bonus track, which was Party Party Remix featuring Future and B.O.B. And then there was a United States Target and Japan bonus track, which was Boy Outta Here featuring Rick Ross. And then there was One Night With You. But overall, I think that the album was good. I think that at the time there was a lot going on. But yeah, definitely stream and buy it if anything. And we will definitely be back with more.